All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You guys have really outdone yourselves this time. The source you sent in is,
Wild.
yeah, wild's a good word for it. Okay, so
Yeah.
basically, we've got this piece claiming that Donald Trump was turned into like a Manchurian candidate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after meeting Kim Jong-un back in 2019.
Okay.
And, I mean, we're talking Russian and North Korean agents, secret neurochip implant, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds like a movie.
Straight out of a spy movie, right?
Right.
But okay, before we like totally spiral down that rabbit hole, I think it's worth taking a step back and asking, like, what does this even tell us about, the world we're living in?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, even though this specific claim is highly unlikely, it does tap into some very real anxieties I think that people have about how political figures can be influenced,
Yeah.
especially in an era
Yeah.
when information warfare is becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Right. So okay, let's actually dive into the source here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The source actually points to some of Trump's, more outlandish statements
Okay.
as like evidence for this.
Mm-hmm.
Things like suggesting that the U.S. owned the Panama Canal,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to annex Canada by Greenland,
Right.
even those tariffs on China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these things definitely raised eyebrows at the time.
Sure.
But could they really have been the result of, Putin pulling some strings through a mind control chip?
Well, attributing those incidents
Yeah.
to a neurochip, I think, is a huge leap, to say the least.
Yeah.
But, it is worth noting that attempts to manipulate political figures have a
Yeah.
long and storied history. We've seen everything from blackmail and bribery to, more subtle forms of coercion throughout history.
Yeah, I mean, political intrigue is practically as old as politics itself, right?
Pretty much. So are there any parallels, I guess, between those historical tactics
Hmm.
and what we're seeing today, particularly with social media? Absolutely. The methods might be more technologically advanced, but the goal is often the same, right?
Right.
To influence behavior
Yeah.
and shape public opinion. And social media has become such a powerful tool for spreading disinformation.
Yeah.
Often disguised as legitimate news or commentary, it's designed to sow discord, undermine trust, and ultimately, manipulate people's beliefs and actions.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we've all seen how quickly misinformation can spread online and how these algorithms can kind of target us
Totally.
with specific content that just reinforces our existing biases.
That's where things get really dangerous. These algorithms can create these echo chambers where
Wow.
people are only exposed to information that confirms their worldview, making them much more susceptible to manipulation.
So how do we protect ourselves from being manipulated? It feels like we need to develop some kind of
Yeah.
internal truth detector or something.
Yeah, it's not about having a special device. It's more about really honing your critical thinking skills. Start by questioning the information that you encounter. Who's sharing it? Why are they sharing it? What's their agenda? Look for evidence-based reporting from reputable sources, and be wary of anything that seems overly sensational or emotionally charged. It's also crucial, I think, to consider different perspectives.
No.
Don't just consume information that aligns with your existing beliefs. Challenge yourself to explore different viewpoints, even if they make you uncomfortable.
Right.
That's how you develop a more nuanced and informed understanding of the world.
That's a really good point. It is easy to get
Yeah.
caught up in your own bubble, especially online, but
Totally.
actively seeking out different perspectives can help us break out of those echo chambers.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone in this. There are so many organizations dedicated to fighting disinformation, promoting media literacy, fact-checking websites, reputable news outlets,
Mhm.
even just educational resources that can all help you navigate this complex information landscape.
Yeah, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. While the idea of a Manchurian candidate might seem far-fetched, it's clear that the manipulation of information is a very real threat, what other seemingly outlandish claims might actually point to deeper truths about the forces shaping our world. We'll keep exploring those questions together, so keep those sources coming. We'll see you next time.